The Dick Show.
This is one of those years, too, where the Bears might actually show up. Justin Fields, I'm telling you, man.
We got to pause for station identification here. America! Fuck yeah! Oh, imagine the possibilities.
I've been riding Caleb Williams' dick since he was in high school.
This is a true story. All right, welcome. Another Tuesday, another show.
I was just wondering when you're going to add something new to that intro.
Yeah, we do need some new material in there, you know.
It's only so much I can hear about Caleb Williams. Dick.
Yeah, man, he's falling off the ledge now.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to
Got to change it up a little
swap
bit.
that
Stop
out
playing
for-
Mahjong.
swap that out for something about Daniel Jones getting
Just something.
getting sacked again.
Anything. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely needs an update.
Yep.
Yeah.
Curious.
I think he
Caleb
immigrated
Williams.
to South America somewhere. Venezuela or something.
Who's that?
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And they
He's
sacked
still
him.
getting sacked.
He sacked him down there too.
Rumor has it he was sacked on the plane.
Yeah.
Not the team playing.
Yeah, not the team plane. He's
Commercial.
on his,
Changed his name
he's
to
on his way to first class. Excuse me, sir. What? Sacked him.
Daniel Suarez, I think his name is, and they still found him.
Fucking
NASCAR.
Yeah, right. It's Jones.
Hey, first of all,
It's-
Suarez is Mexican.
It's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Juarez. What's up, fellers?
Yeah. What's going on?
So you got to be excited. Your team won, huh?
Yeah, hey, old Tommy DeVito, that guy. This guy, where do we find him? You know what I mean? Came off the like.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia or something.
Man,
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's?
Yeah, he was sitting over there just having a sandwich, and they said, "Hey, you know how to take sacks? Come on up."
That's pretty much the position they've put him in.
What do you
like-
think the tryout was? Is just him standing back there taking hits?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As long as you can keep standing up afterwards, you can stay.
No shit.
Yeah.
They used him as the sled drill. They just pushed him around, and, you know.
Yeah. You come off the practice squad.
But he's got to catch the ball first, so that the snapper's got to get him.
Yeah,
get it to
right.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they seem to have destroyed Washington this week, huh?
Man, that's an interesting game right there. I didn't expect the Giants to win, honestly.
Nobody did.
And Washington, I don't know what they're doing. Like, some weeks they look really good. Other weeks they just, like, I think in this situation, that's definitely a big time collapse for them. They should not have lost this game.
It was the biggest upset of the week.
Yeah.
Based on point spread.
Yeah. I mean, what?
9.5.
They won by 12. So, I mean, that's, they put 31 points on the board, which is surprising. I mean, they haven't been able to score for shit this year. So
When's the last time they did that? Against Arizona?
I was
Week
gonna
2?
say, I
Yeah,
think maybe.
week 2.
I think
Yeah.
maybe then. Yeah, I think if you're correct, I think that was the last time. But good for them, man.
Yeah.
I guess we're out of the hunt for Caleb, or at least trying to get ourselves out of it. I don't know.
Who's we? The Giants?
Yeah,
Or
the Giants. Yeah,
just so we're clear.
What was that? Win 2 or win 3?
I think 3 now. Yep. So
It was, I believe, 3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won another game.
Yeah, they're 3-8 now.
But yeah, so hey, good job for them. Still though, like you were saying, Dustin, they still are keep giving up sacks. How are we going to keep any quarterback healthy? DeVito, it's only a matter of time before he's debroken. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying before we jumped on here that I saw that they had given up 5 sacks in the first quarter alone, and I think 6 in the first half.
Yeah.
It just, you wonder why you're on your backup to your backup quarterback. You can't have a line that can't protect quarterbacks and expect a whole lot of success,
He's like a prostitute. He's always on his back.
No shit.
All of them are.
All of them, exactly. We're running a fucking brothel up there.
Yeah, I was kind of scrolling through team stats real quick to see if I could find that number, and they don't show that, but it does show Washington's 6 turnovers, which that's a lot of turnovers.
It's always hard to win a game, with that many turnovers. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, and kind of to jump off that for a second, you look at the Cardinals to force 3 turnovers the way they did, you know, on those interceptions, and to not win that game is unfortunate. But you always hope that if your defense is creating turnovers that you can capitalize, get points off of them, and ultimately win the game off of that. But 6 turnovers at home, yeah. You know, dig yourself in a hole like that, it's hard to get out. You never want to fuck with another man's hole. So
No. That was taught to us by a very wise man a long time ago. How was your dad doing?
He's doing good. I talked to him actually yesterday.
Nice.
Yep, they're just hanging out. They're gonna do some Thanksgiving dinner. I think they're doing it at the house. I think Thursday. I can't remember. I think for some reason, they're going somewhere on Friday to hang out and go somewhere. But anyways,
yeah. Never plug another man's hole.
Yep. Don't ever fuck another man's hole, man.
Yeah.
Or fill another man's hole.
Yeah.
Same shit.
I don't even remember what the hell we were watching.
It was some comedy special, and I've never been able to find it again ever since that was on, dude. Like, there was Kelly, we watched, I mean, this was years ago, like probably 12, 13 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And my dad was in town, and Dustin came over, and there was some comedian on doing like some comedy special, and he had this whole bit about filling another man's hole, and like how you should never fill another man's hole. And
You should just Google it.
it was like a cowboy guy. I've never been able to find it. Like, I've tried to look up fill another man's hole, and you know what I mean?
Google don't.
I don't remember it being a comedy thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was like some nature show he had on or something.
No, it was like some comedian. It was. I
It's
can't
so
remember.
weird.
Yeah.
That was that
remember.
at your old house?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was at the Banff house.
Yeah. Wow.
Old
Yeah.
Banff
Anyway,
Lane.
weird sidetrack there, but well worth the story.
Yep.
Yeah. So should we just power through football since we're already kind of on that subject?
Yeah, we might as well.
NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this real quick.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Station identification, huh?
Yeah.
When the mountains are cold, it's time for you to grab your favorite.
Don't grab your favorite podcast.
Yeah, grab your favorite beer, and enjoy your favorite pod show, The Dick Show Live, previously recorded.
So
maybe Chris isn't the promo guy.
No, I
Yeah.
got distracted halfway through it, man.
So I Googled "don't fill another man's hole,"
Mm-hmm.
and it comes up filling empty holes with relationships, and then there's a bunch of praise God.
Yeah, see,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah, no.
Where does the concept
not going down that road?
like it was literally
Yeah.
about like
when God doesn't fill the hole in your heart?
It was,
I'm
like-
what?
cowboys finding holes in the desert, and those holes in the desert were another man's hole. And
Yeah.
so, as a cowboy, you're never supposed to fill another man's hole
Yeah.
because it's lonely out there on the range.
You can't search cowboys filling holes because you know what? You're going to get something bad.
Pornhub.com, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't pop up anything.
Hey guys, before we get into that, well, we're just bullshitting. It's Thanksgiving week,
Yes, it is.
so what are you guys thankful for?
No teams on buys.
Yeah, there we go.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Thankful for time off work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thankful for some good food and reverse cowgirl videos.
You set that whole thing up just because you wanted to get to that,
I
aren't you?
had to drop that in there.
Aren't you proud?
Yay.
Oh, man.
It worked.
No, Thanksgiving's it's always a good time, whether it's here with family or out at the dunes or whatever we're doing. So,
It's just a great football day.
yes, especially ASU OU, or not OU,
sorry.
U of A.
Mhm.
ASU U of A, always around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got big bowl, or not bowl games, but big college
Rivalry
games.
week, yeah.
Rivalry games. Time off, like you said. So Thanksgiving is always like the weird holiday, right? Because like so many people complain about it as far as like being a holiday. Should we or should we not observe it?
What? Who's saying
Well,
that?
Considering we slaughtered Indians and everything, and you
Oh,
know
well.
what I mean. But with that being said, I've never really looked at it in those kind of senses anyways. I've always just thought of it as a time to get together, enjoy food, and watch football. You know what I mean? That's what.
Well, to be fair, we teamed up with one tribe to slaughter another tribe. So I mean, we didn't slaughter all the Indians, just
whoever wanted to be on our side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you ain't with us, you against us.
And that's how football started, becoming a tradition on
right.
Thanksgiving. You just go beat somebody up out on a field.
Mm-hmm. I bet they weren't complaining about the team being called the Redskins back then.
Yeah. God,
I was reading something today. It was like the Redskins and the Cleveland Indians, they all changed their name, but we still have the Chiefs. We still have the Braves.
You still have the Seminoles.
Still have the Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the outrage on those teams? Like, why did they just try to get the first one?
Yeah, how are they going to let the Blackhawks be a name anyways? You know what I mean? God.
I mean, that's racist to Whitehawks.
Exactly. And White Cocks.
Right?
Jesus.
I bet you if you look in Dustin's Google search history, he's, what is it? 6 searches from Blackhawks or something like that. What was it? You ever see Ted? Ted 2?
I didn't see Ted 2.
Ted 2, he said something like you're like 2 clicks away from Blackhawks on the internet at any given time. 2
exactly.
or 3 clicks,
Yeah,
something like that.
like
No
that.
matter what. No matter what website you go to, you're just 3 quick clicks away from accidentally finding something.
Yep.
Right. Never fill another man's hole, man.
Yeah.
And yet we're back to Pornhub.
Yeah, let's rumble down the NFL path. So, Baltimore beating up Cincinnati.
Man, that was, I mean, I think,
And Joe Burrow's out.
I was
Yeah,
going to
Joe
say, I
Burrow
think the
going
biggest
down.
news out of that, right, is the fact that we don't have a breaking news noise, do we? Exactly. Breaking news. Daniel Jones has just been sacked. Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong breaking news.
Force of habit at this
Yeah,
point, right?
Sorry. But yeah, Joe Burrow out for the rest of the year with a wrist injury.
Yeah.
That's big. He went into the game wearing a brace, and that kind of like emerged the day before, I guess. And I didn't even really think anything of it, but
Well, we saw that.
Yeah,
he was
we-
warming up on the
Sideline.
yeah,
sideline.
even on the sideline,
and
yeah.
he took a
Half-ass
throwing,
attempt at throwing.
and the ball just came loose because he couldn't even squeeze it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That first hit, that hand got driven right into the ground on that big hit, and
Yeah.
you could tell that it wasn't going to be good. But Baltimore rolls. You
Yep.
know, they keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't think, in my opinion, I mean, Lamar Jackson is good and their offense is good, but it seems to me that he's not playing as great as he has in the past, but that defense is just so good. They're just a solid team altogether. You know what I mean?
Yet they don't do a lot of fantasy points.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of
I mean,
surprising.
they
you know?
lost to Cleveland, like, what, in the last
yeah.
second?
Yeah,
by
and
2
they had, and
points or
they,
something
I
like
mean,
that.
they were
And
winning
they-
that game the whole game, and
Yeah.
they gave it up at the end. But yeah, big win for them, man.
That puts them at
Cincinnati,
8-3.
mm-hmm.
So I mean,
They're in charge of the division. You
Mhm.
know, they're pretty much just in the driver's seat. They just got to keep on keeping on. You know, Cincinnati unfortunately was already on the outside looking in for the playoffs. Now you
They're
don't
done.
have Burrow. You're going to be done. I think.
yeah,
Still the best division in football.
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Very tough division. I mean, the Steelers. You never know what you're going to get with them, so might as well talk about that next.
Hey man, and Cleveland's here this year. You know what I mean?
but to only beat them by 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
but Deshaun Watson's out again too.
Yeah, he had a shoulder injury, right? So
Yeah, so he's done for the
for the
year.
season. So that's a big loss for them too.
Yeah,
But you know what? Look at to your point, like what Pittsburgh does. They've been rolling off a defense. Cleveland has a nasty defense also, so we'll see. They'll have to play those like grind them out games. They re-signed Nick Chubb, right? Yeah, so they've got Nick Chubb, you know, and didn't they bring in Kareem Hunt? Didn't they bring him back as well, I thought?
Yeah,
I
in the
think so,
beginning
yeah.
of the year.
Is
Yeah.
he hurt or is he playing or
well, last I saw, he was playing.
I mean, now you're getting to the point, especially if Deshaun's out, you're going to have to be running the ball. You're getting into playoff, you know, cold weather, almost down to the playoffs anyways. running games are really going to be starting to show up and be important here at the end of the season, like always.
In that game with Pittsburgh, Kareem Hunt had 12 carries. They're a whopping 36 yards.
Yeah. Well, it's Pittsburgh too, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, and those are the grinded out games, especially in that division. Like we're saying, if it's truly the best division in football, all those guys, they're just going to play hard-nosed football against each other. So.
Yep. Dallas, Carolina. Dallas doing Dallas stuff. That
No
one
big surprise
was
there.
not a
right?
shocker. No.
Carolina's got the first pick locked up, probably.
No, most likely.
And you know what? I mean, they're not going to jump. I don't think they would jump to a quarterback so soon. They just drafted one, right? So, you know, that'd be interesting if they do lock up the number one pick, if they trade down a little bit and try to pick up some more assets and more draft picks.
That's only if they believe in Bryce Young.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying he's shown anything to be worth believing in yet, but do you just give up on him in one season?
We did.
I
with
mean,
Josh
did they turn
Rosen.
into the
Yeah.
Cleveland of the 2020s?
Right.
Drafting
Just drafting quarterbacks all the time.
First
Every
round
year.
picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, you know, the big thing with Cleveland, too, then was, like, how many head coaches and offensive coordinators they went through.
Yeah.
You know, it was like every year, it was like a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator. Even Baker Mayfield, like, I think the first however many years there he was in Cleveland.
Was the first time they had, yeah.
Well, I think even to start out, he had
His
like
first 2 years he had two different coaches.
Yeah, he had like, it was 5 different coaches between head coaches and coordinators in like his first 2 or 3 seasons. You know how hard it is to like be consistent as a quarterback or any offense,
Yeah, I
period.
mean, every
you
year
know?
the playbook changes. Every year, yeah.
It's
It's
fucking
tough.
impossible to like be consistently good.
Yeah.
And I guess Baker wasn't back this weekend either.
Nope. But you know who was looking good this week until they lost? Chris's Bears.
Yeah, and the Bears.
I mean, they hung in there with Detroit.
They were ahead. They were up
Yeah.
by 14 points or something like that.
Yeah. Nobody expected that to be a close game.
They were moving the ball for sure. Detroit, though, I mean, gosh.
Detroit was sputtering.
First time they've been 8-2 since I don't know, in the 90s, and then before that was like the 60s.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, they've got they got some good things going on there on offense and defense. That
Yeah.
city's excited.
As they should be. Dan Campbell's
Campbell's really
reviving
got
that
him.
team. Yeah.
He's really got him firing on all cylinders. So
I think Goff finally gets some redemption.
Yeah.
I thought he was doing good in L.A.
mhm.
You know, Stafford could be doing the same thing there.
Yeah,
You know, so L.A. bought a Super Bowl, and now they're in last place. And well, not exactly last place. We're in last place, but.
Yeah.
But I mean, we called it at the beginning of the year, didn't we? Detroit was.
Yeah, probably the top cat in that division.
Yeah, yep.
And they're proving it. They're showing it. So, good for them. You want to talk about being in last place?
How about them Cardinals? Huh?
Rephrase that. Vying for last place. Definitely last in our division.
Yeah,
I did pick them this week,
Yeah, I see that.
and they should have won that game.
bad decisions.
So
a couple
no,
times.
bad fucking refereeing.
Yeah,
That punt went off a Texans player, and they're like, the play stands. What fucking game were those guys watching?
and I don't know how they don't.
It went right off of his shoulder. His arm wasn't even there.
I don't know how they don't see on a replay.
Yeah, if you're reviewing
if you're
that.
reviewing it, like how do you not have a camera angle? Because you could see it on the replay at home
Yeah.
where it hit off the.
Well, allegedly, they have even more camera angles than we have.
Yeah,
So, and they have access to everything we see on TV. So, if they've got that plus more, how do you fuck that up?
yeah. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, and I also don't really like overall. It gets annoying to me how all these broadcasts have like Dean Blandino or these other head referee guys that come in there and they talk about it anytime there's a fucking challenge that gets thrown.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit. That shit is annoying as hell to me. You know what I mean?
I like the
I
other
don't mind
Fox
it.
guy. What was his name? Mike.
Pereira.
Yeah,
Mike
Mike
Pereira.
Pereira. And even then, like, same thing. It's okay if you do it a couple times, but, like, they just beat a dead horse with it sometimes. And sometimes it's like, we don't need to have you come on here to talk about this challenge. Like,
Well, they got to
sometimes
fill
it's-
airtime. That's all it
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
I get that. It's just annoying to me.
There
Like,
are definitely times when they come in with an explanation of some goofy ass rule that you never knew existed, or
Yeah.
that people don't understand.
and so in those
that's helpful.
situations,
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's very helpful. But
Yeah.
like we're talking about a fumble, or like did the guy's elbow touch down right before the goal line or not? And then they come in and you see here, if you look, the elbow touched right before the ball crossed the line. So I think that's going to be recalled, and it's just like, yeah, we can see that. We don't need, but again, this is in that situation. We could see that play happen in real time or in the replay, and the referees can't fucking get it right on a recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bullshit. I think that was the turning point of the game. I'm like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, we have to give Stroud some.
And
his
that
due
was my
credit.
next point.
Yeah.
He looked fucking amazing.
Yeah, he has to get his due credit there.
But
That,
second
that
half,
pass to Dell in the end zone
Yeah.
where he
Yeah.
laid out.
It was a perfectly
Holy
placed.
shit.
amazing
Perfect.
catch,
placed.
amazing catch, nice, amazing throw, great play overall. But the second half, the Cardinals' defense was in the game. I mean, they
Yeah,
kept them in the
absolutely.
game. I think they only had like 83 or 86 yards of total offense in the second half. So,
Yeah.
they did a good job there. But I didn't, and, I text you guys during the game that 2-point conversion when they go for the 2-point. Why go for it then?
Right.
Again, I understand like
This
analytics.
is still a
say
whole
this,
quarter.
but you still had, they had like half the third quarter and the fourth quarter to go. Like, get the fucking point,
Right.
and you had only been down 4. Then you don't have to go for 2 necessarily at the time when you go for 2, which was still with a lot of time left in the game. You know what I mean? Like,
And what was with the play call? So they get a penalty and they decline it, and then they see that Arizona's going to go for it, and then they go, "Oh no, we'll take the penalty." Like, what is with the refs?
yeah.
That they made the decision. You can't go back and fucking change it once you see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't understand that.
It was a strange game when it came down to some of those, those calls or the decisions made and allowed to happen. I don't know, but tough game for the Cardinals. Kyler, still some of those, inconsistent throws and stuff. The legs, he looks good. It doesn't really look like he's too worried about, the knee at
Right,
all, which
right.
is nice to see.
Yeah.
And he definitely adds a lot more elements to that offense, and you can see it. It's
Yeah.
just,
I mean, he only got intercepted the one time.
yeah.
Some bad
And I tell you what, man,
bad bounces.
he's got a good arm. He can make some good throws. He's mobile. Like,
Did you see that catch from Dortch and then the run after?
mm-hmm.
Like, he just plowed through people.
Yeah.
He refused to go down.
And he hadn't been playing at all this season.
Yeah.
You know, like Dortch, I don't think had seen many snaps at all coming into this game. So,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. But hey, maybe that's another weapon. You can just build off of that. And I don't think Gannon. I kind of like Gannon as a coach.
He's got to stop going for 2 points early in the
Yeah.
game, and there's no need
It's
for
just
it.
that fucking analytics bullshit. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, and I don't. Again, there's like a time to use it, I think, or a time to look at it to help you make a decision. But I don't think that is always ultimately the right call.
He's trying
You
too
know what
hard
I mean?
to be a Dan Campbell.
Well,
Dan Campbell, I think the stats are. I
Go
don't know.
for
I
it.
don't.
Go
Yeah,
for
I don't
it.
remember the
Go
numbers,
for it.
but I think he's gone for 2-point conversions more than any other coach in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And also more fourth down attempts.
Well, and that's the change in football too, right? And like I've always thought about that, like even being younger and stuff, thinking like eventually there'll be a time, and just from playing video games, how many times when like you play video games where you would just go for 2 just because, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you could just do it the whole game, and eventually with the evolution of the game, like they're going to do away. I bet you eventually they do away with kickoffs, and if they do away with extra points, it wouldn't be a surprise either.
Yeah, basically what it could come down to is you go for 2-point conversion, and if you get it, they get the ball at the 15-yard line.
Yeah,
but if you don't, they
25
get
or
it.
the
They get it at the 35.
Yeah, or whatever.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Exactly.
That's the way they eliminate the kick. You know.
Yeah, and they already, they've already done so much to pretty much handcuff the kickoffs, where it's now just kind of like a foregone, like, let's just do this, and then we'll cut to a commercial break, and then we'll come back. It's just like an added break in between plays after you come off of a break in between plays.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, and we don't get to see the skill sets of some of these guys that we used to get to see. Like what was his name for the Bears?
Devin Hester.
Devin
Man.
Hester. Good
Yeah.
Lord, that guy.
Yeah, and that's
But that was so fun. It was every time he stood back there to receive a kickoff, you just knew
Right.
it could happen.
And there's always been, like, even from back when Deion Sanders was the guy, or, there's always been guys that have been electric. Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles.
There's always been guys that have been electric kick returners or punt returners. And, like, that was always, to me, an element that was exciting to watch. I always thought that was cool because it's a game changer.
Right.
I mean, it could be an immediate game changer, or it could be when you absolutely need it, and that guy's getting the ball because they punted to him on accident, and now he turns the game around because they.
Yeah.
How many games have you seen won or lost based off of a fucking punt return? Where the guy
Recently?
I mean, not
Yeah.
recently, but
Yeah,
you know
no.
what I mean. Like in
That's what I'm saying.
overall,
They're killing special teams.
and
slowly.
it sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks. Like, it's changed the game, but same with that evolution is this 2-point shit, right?
Right.
Like, it's more, they go for it more aggressively. Even the fourth downs, going for it on fourth downs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's increased quite a bit.
And you see it now more frequently on your own side of your field.
Yeah, which is weird to me.
Is incredible, because I remember several times even Bill Belichick getting criticized for going for it on fourth down against the Colts on like his own 35 or whatever. They end up losing the game, and they question the decision, but now look, everybody's making those decisions all the time.
Yeah, it's the norm.
Yep. Don't hate the play, I hate the game.
Yeah.
So getting back to the Cardinals.
Yep.
Stroud had 3 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
They turned over the ball more times, and we just couldn't capitalize.
Yeah.
But I think it was bad officiating myself.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Like that punt, that turnover specifically changes a part of the game.
Yep.
And who knows what can happen off of that, Yeah, just fucking, that sucks, man. The Cardinals were in it,
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how they keep going forward.
But, overall, Houston looks pretty good this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they got a good, strong team. I think D'Amico Ryans is changing the culture there. And that's a very good thing for football.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sucks for us because we have their first round pick next year, but I'm sure we could trade it, package it up, do something,
Mm-hmm.
and then get somebody that's not going to play for us in 4 years.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Typical Arizona stuff.
At least it's not Kime time.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
All right, move on. Miami, Vegas. Miami wins that one. Not
No
a real
surprise
shocker.
there,
Yeah.
I expected more of a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think that would be the.
I mean,
the
what
surprise,
is
if
is
anything.
Miami slowing down? Are the
Only
teams
20 points?
just figuring out how to play them and stop them?
Right. Possibly. Obviously, we talked about the Giants and Washington. Good for the Giants. Chargers and Green Bay.
That was a surprise.
That was an upset.
For sure.
Green Bay 23. the
We only had
Chargers
4
20.
upsets this week.
Yep.
New York Giants was one. Philadelphia game last night was another one. This Green Bay game, and then the Rams beating Seattle by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but honestly, the Philly Kansas City one, I wouldn't have. It's only an upset because of the Vegas odds. You know what I mean? But outside of that, that was a toss-up game in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City beat them in the Super Bowl last year, right?
Mhm.
So it's I did see a stat saying with that specifically, this is the best start for a team that has lost the Super Bowl in like 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I also watched last
Probably
night.
since the Bills.
There's a
Yeah,
stat.
exactly. That's what it says.
Every
to those.
time Philadelphia has started 9-1. They've gone to the Super Bowl
Really?
because they were 10-1 last year, weren't they?
Maybe.
I don't remember last year. Man, I've slept since then. I smoked a lot of weed too. I don't know. Unless it popped up like recently and I saw the stat, I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah. Tennessee, Jacksonville. Jacksonville. I don't think that surprised any of us. We all thought Jacksonville.
I'm just surprised overall this year with how poorly Tennessee has played. I mean, they kind of put a lot into this season. They got Hopkins. They already had a pretty stout offense last year, and this year they just have not been able to put it up there on the field. So
I just wanted to say one more thing about the Chargers. Looks like is it Joey Bosa?
Mm-hmm.
He's injured, so I think he could.
I think he's out for the year.
He could be out for the year.
Mm-hmm. That's a big loss for them on defense. Not that their defense is just lighting it up, but he was their best player.
Yeah.
And that has to be one of the disappointing teams.
Yeah, considering
the
everything,
roster,
Dustin Herbert, and all
the success they've had in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
to see them falter.
Yeah,
so badly.
When you're looking at those teams that are kind of like on the bubble right now, Cincinnati, Buffalo, the Chargers. I think the Chargers are beyond the bubble right now.
Chargers are 4-6, so they're not even on the bubble.
It's just these teams that you expected this year to be penciled in for a playoff spot, or almost three of them right there are pretty much non-existent, and two of those are definitely not happening. I would say right now, the Chargers and Cincinnati. Buffalo can still do it, but man, that's going to be tough too.
Mm-hmm.
Still a lot of football left, though.
And Tennessee, getting back to them, Tannehill's not in, so they got a rookie quarterback as well, Will Levis. And Derrick Henry's they're not doing anything with Derrick Henry this year.
No, that's been
not doing anything with Hopkins.
It's been one of their
most curious
things.
Who's their first? He was from Georgia. His first round, I think, last year or the year before. Because they traded A.J. Brown to Philly and they picked up this kid. I think he was out of Georgia. Haven't seen him either. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, not sure offhand.
We'd have to go back into the interwebs history there. And
Jacksonville, on the other hand, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is playing good football. Etienne is playing really good. He's been great this year as a running back.
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, yeah, Ridley, yep.
He was doing wonders for Atlanta, and then he got suspended for a year for gambling.
Mm-hmm.
For putting $1,000 on BetMGM. And they reported him and said, oh, you're suspended for the year.
Fucking ridiculous. As long as you're not gambling on a game you're playing in, I don't care.
And actually, honestly, if you're betting on your team to win.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Like, I don't see any problem if I'm making a bet on my team to win and I'm playing in the game. Like,
other than they're saying you could be paying off somebody from the other team to help you make that happen. Just don't bet on a game you're in.
Yeah, I mean,
just don't bet on a game you're in, or don't allow players to bet or gamble on the league they play
on the sport
in.
that you're playing.
If you want to gamble on a basketball game, who cares?
Yeah,
because there's just as many people that aren't the players, the athletes on the field that are as likely to be conspiring to fix games behind the scenes anyway. So, you know what I mean?
There's more.
Yeah, there's way more.
Especially now you've made it so easy for people to be able to gamble online. And you see they've fucking run commercials with the NFL and other major sports online, and you see it on TV all the time, So they've normalized now online sports betting, but they also still want to try to hold these players more responsible for it. But you're the ones that are making these rules,
right?
Right. I don't know. I guess again, I get it. You don't want players to throw games, and that's never a situation you want at all. But when it comes down to just betting on other sports, or even if, like I said, if you're betting for your team to win, in my opinion, I'm trying to win that game. I'm not trying to fucking lose.
Well, as normalized as it is now, fucking the Pete Rose thing. Can we just move on and put the man in the goddamn Hall of Fame before he dies?
Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Like, before he dies, let's...
And to me, even in that situation, like he always said he never bet against his team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he never bet against himself or his team in those situations. And what's worse, that or the steroids that all those players used and use that for advantage? Do you consider that worse for the game? You know, the statistics and how revered some of these stats are, you know,
Right.
and then they just get thrown away because of other players cheating, quote
Right.
unquote.
Right.
But at the same time, man, like all players, all teams in most sports, they've always tried to toe a line somewhere to find an advantage that's kind of a gray area. And you use it to take the advantage. You see it in racing, you see it in all sports, you know what I mean?
Yep, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know, there's been players in all sports that have played the games on all sorts of drugs or other things to try to get an advantage.
That was everything from sticky and rosin and shit like that in baseball
Fucking
to
uppers,
deflating,
downers,
deflating
psychedelics,
footballs.
fucking football players eating Viagra before a game. You know, I mean, all sorts of shit. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah, we deflate footballs. We spy on other teams' practices. I mean,
and even the the signal calling shit right now that's kind of hit Michigan and stuff.
Jim Harbaugh.
Like, you're surprised? Like, is anybody? I mean,
Does anybody remember Bill Belichick getting caught for the same thing? Like,
I
what,
just
8
I don't-
years ago,
you know,
10 years
like,
ago?
I just don't understand. Like, there's a reason why play callers and coaches are always covering their mouth when they're making calls, and there's a reason in all sports you have multiple signals and you have multiple signal callers on the sidelines and stuff, or coming in from the bench. Like, that's what other teams are supposed to do. If they can figure out what your signals are, you're fucked. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's football. There's only so many formations that you can line 11 guys up on a field in, and only so many routes the receivers can possibly run. So it is the other team's job to figure out which formation you're in and what route that you're going to be running. That is their sole existence as a defense, is to figure that out and stop it. Like,
If a player's giving away, you know, like,
if they have a tell of some kind as a
Exactly.
quarterback that, I can see that it's going to be a pass play based on how
he opens his foot up a little bit
or
more.
he's clenching his hands
you
because he's
know?
getting ready for the ball. You know, people have tells. People
Yeah.
figure them out.
There's tendencies we all fall into, and if you on the other side figure that out, then more power to you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, we got off the rails again.
Yeah.
San Francisco,
I
Tampa
found
Bay.
Traylon Burks is who was
Oh, that's
drafted.
that kid?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he hasn't played much this year.
So San Francisco beat up Tampa Bay. Baker's not back still. He maybe he's on vacation this week or something.
I don't know. I guess, you know,
But
maybe
it is the Niners.
it's turkey
It
time
is the
already.
Niners, but the
It
Niners-
is the Niners.
The Niners did have a stumble there though a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they had their little
Their
patch,
little
right?
3-week tumble.
But tell you what, is Brock Purdy he's got a pretty mouth. I know that.
Whoa, whoa.
Is he like the next Tom Brady, drafted in the 7th round? Wasn't he drafted
He
last?
was Mr. Insignificant, right?
Mr. Irrelevant?
Or Mr. Irrelevant, yeah. I think he was Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah.
I think he was the last player drafted.
Yeah.
And look at him go.
And he started playoff game for him, and he's played well this season for him overall. Man, San Francisco, though, that's, you know, I hate to admit it, but they are a pretty good team when they're playing their best.
How about Buffalo and the Jets?
Yeah, that was part of that is surprising because of how inconsistent Buffalo has played, and
Part of it's not, though, because of how shitty a team the Jets are.
exactly.
Yeah, well, also, I think you got to look at it and say, I guarantee there was a lot of ass chewing in that locker room after last week.
Yeah, you just lost
And-
your offensive coordinator over
Yep.
the whole situation.
And
you know.
now you got a team playing mad. But
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off again. I do it all the time.
Yeah, you do. That's
Brock Purdy, 2022 Mr. Irrelevant, last player. Born in Queen Creek, Arizona.
Look at that.
He's an Arizona boy. I knew there was a reason I liked him.
Yeah. Old Queen Creek.
Yep.
we clear to continue now.
You may continue.
Carry on. Carry on.
Where,
Yeah.
where are we at?
I don't know.
Buffalo.
Where are we at?
We
Yeah.
were on
Buffalo-
Buffalo, New York, and by
Buffalo?
the time I say I'm done with it, you're going to want to go back to it. So
Nah, I got
We'll just
nothing.
give you
I
a
didn't
minute.
see that game.
we'll give you a minute.
We'll just power on to the Rams
They-
here.
they-
Yeah.
They
Until-
did get a new OC, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that contributed to it.
And that's kind of like what we're saying. I bet you it did somehow, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
even if it wasn't because of his amazing play calling, I think part of it is a wake-up call for that team, right?
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
play better, and now you're getting into situations where you're running out of games to fucking
And people are getting benched if shit doesn't change.
and you're running out of games to make up mistakes. You know what I mean?
And previous to this week, they were 5-5.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're still on the outside looking in as of this week, I
Yeah,
think. So,
even at 6-5, they're not exactly sitting
yeah,
pretty.
they're not in a good spot yet.
They are on the outside. They're
Yep.
number 8.
The Rams beat Seattle.
Yep, by 1 point.
Yeah, the missed field goal at the end of the game. I didn't see much of that game.
I didn't see any of it.
I just saw like red zone switching over to it, and but
Yeah.
Seattle had a chance at the end of the game. They fought, got into the position they needed to kick the field goal, and they just shorted it. So
Yep.
that's a game they should have won, though. I feel. We all had them picked, and they let them off the hook.
Then you go to Minnesota, Denver, and Mr. Dwobs is not perfect in Minnesota anymore.
Yeah.
Hey,
Who's the one guy that
I
picked
was
Denver?
going to say,
in
who
that?
picked Denver in that?
Who's that?
Who is that guy?
That would be me.
Ugh.
Yeah, good call, man.
Well, Denver is after a miserable start. What were they? 1-5. They are now 5-5, winning 4 straight.
Yeah.
Looking like they're turning it around a little bit.
You know,
Maybe,
those the Broncos, you never know. They might
don't
Don't
doubt
count
the
them out.
Broncos. Don't count out them Broncos, right?
that they may be this close to locking up the AFC West, I don't think Kansas
know
City
about
has
that.
anything for them.
Russ hasn't played bad football the last few weeks, which is, if you're a Denver fan, that's good to see, right?
That's a big turnaround from what they've had to endure for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, they
absolutely.
still don't have a running game,
Nope.
and he only threw for 259. So I wonder if it's because Dobbs got a sack and a fumble again for the Vikings. Glad he's doing that over there and not with us.
And he's now 2-1 as a starter for Minnesota.
Yeah.
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 And then that takes us to that last game. Did you have something you wanted to add?
No, it bothers me that, he goes there and he wins 2 games and all of a sudden he's a darling and everybody's, Dobbs. They're all interviewing him and he's a defensive liability on the field.
Right. He likes to turn the ball over for sure.
Yeah. So that's all I had to
You're
say.
just mad because he went there and won 2 games.
The alopecia antelope.
The alopecia antelope, man. He's still doing his thing.
And then Kansas City falls to Philly.
Yep.
Oh,
Rematch of the Super Bowl.
who was the one guy that got the Philly there?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was me.
You know what's
On the
impressive,
bar.
though? On the dot, Chris had the tiebreaker amount. He had 38 in a
Hey, there we
17
go.
to 21 game. So silver lining there.
Yep. And that's a low-scoring game, really, for those two teams.
Yeah, for
you
those
know?
2 teams, it is.
I don't know if you guys have figured it out by now, but I really like to play those unders on the tiebreakers.
It was a rainy game.
So,
Oh, we don't need to look at that.
Oh, we don't.
Wow, look at that.
We don't want to talk about that. Why? What's wrong? So
The administrator's cheating somehow
Nope,
and giving
not-
himself games
Just
after
fucking
the fact.
12
and-
games
12
over
game lead
second
on you
place.
guys.
And I've now jumped into second place by a game.
And look at the tie differential. We're all pretty damn close together. I'm at 75 points off.
we
You're
each
at
have 73.
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If it's for me, I'm not here.
That was my alarm. You ain't here. Sorry.
Alarm. What do you got to do? What do you got to go do?
I don't know. I don't even know why. I don't know why that alarm is set, actually, because we're here every week at the same time.
Yeah, I don't recall it ever going off before.
No, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Phantom alarms.
I've got to let a dog out for a neighbor tomorrow at, like noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. And when I got asked to do it, I was like, yeah, no problem. About 10 seconds later, I went, if I don't put a fucking alarm in my phone for this, I am not going to remember. And that dog is going to piss
Which
all
neighbor?
over the house.
Point which way?
They're leaving tomorrow morning.
Dude, I'm like notorious for setting alarms for shit. I've got like 1,000 alarms set. It
Not
seems
not
like.
two that way, by the way, just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
But
Yeah, you used to have like alarms that would go off for everything.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
on the daily.
Yep.
I remember that.
Yep.
Vaguely.
It still happens. I'll be at training, man, and I swear I'm like, I don't have any alarms going on, and it'll be like quiet. Fucking my professor's showing like some technique. Everybody's sitting there watching. All of a sudden, you just hear
Running.
fucking dun 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 dun. And I'm like, fuck, it's me again. It's a running joke now. They'll be like, oh, what time? Oh, hey Chris, it's 9:37.
Well, yeah. What?
So check your alarm.
My question is, what are the alarms for? Like, if it was to
Dude.
take your medications or something, I would understand it. But
Some of them I don't even know. It's just like they get set for one thing, and sometimes I'll just, instead of setting a new one, I just click on one and change the time on it, and then I just like save. Let's go. And then so it'll just randomly go off on another day.
I'm like,
because
is this like a it's time to smoke a joint alarm, or what is this? Like,
full disclosure, most of my alarms are weed alarms. Yeah, that's a fucking definite running joke, man. I got alarms set for everything, which is usually nothing.
oh man, good shit.
I knew
Well,
my
and he
burp.
smokes a lot of weed, so he forgets a lot.
Yeah,
too.
exactly, right?
Yeah, that's you got to label that alarm
Yeah,
with
right.
something.
I know, right?
Hey, why is this going off? Hell if I know.
Yeah, I
Smoke
don't
a
know.
joint.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe then I'll remember.
Yeah.
I forgot
right.
about that.
Yeah, I forgot I needed to get high. I smoke so much weed, I forget when I need to smoke more weed.
Jesus, poor guy.
That's
It's
good.
rough.
Good times right there.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So what do we got this week
That
on the
round.
old NFL schedule?
games coming up.
Anything good?
Oops. Let me. Damn it.
Well, I mean, let's start with Thursday. A whole fucking another extra day
Mm-hmm.
of football, and I get to watch football again.
Turkey
From
and
home?
football and turkey.
My mom's.
Oh,
One of my
you
moms.
son of a bitch. I'll be out here all by myself.
Well, you don't know that for sure, though, right?
I don't know that for
Yeah.
sure.
He's looking for an excuse
Toe.
to sit around and watch football without
Oh
having to
yeah,
go anywhere.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
but Kelly's not going to be here,
yeah. Nobody else will either.
and you're not going to the dunes.
I don't think so. No. So Thursday we do
God
have
hates a quitter.
Yeah.
not concerned.
And that's why I smoke so much weed.
So we get 3 games on Thursday. We get our, I don't want to say, we get our 2 traditional, our Detroit game and a Dallas game, but we get a 3rd game this year. So Green
We
Bay.
always get 3 games on
I thought we only got the 2 normally.
I always get 3.
No, we always get 3, but the third one is always like usually a more random game.
Is that only since Thursday Night Football started, though? Because back in
No.
the day on Thanksgiving, it was just the 2 games.
No, you get the morning, the afternoon, and the night.
Yeah, and
Always.
I don't remember when
a
that
third.
changed necessarily, but
Yeah, I don't remember the third one.
I do
back
remember
then.
as a kid it seemed like only the 2 games.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I thought.
Anyways, so
So, yeah, you got Green Bay, Detroit to start in the morning.
I thought you were pulling shit out of your ankle over there.
No. You got Washington, Dallas in the afternoon slot, and then San Francisco, Seattle for the evening game.
I like that this weekend's mostly divisional games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, there we go.
Those. Yeah.
And then the first time we have a Black Friday game.
Yeah.
I think that's on Amazon this year.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I have to work. I'll be at work. And that's going to fucking suck.
Yeah, that being Miami and the Jets. Miami 10-point fave in that
Miami
one.
and the Jets. Yeah, so real quick to go over the Detroit Green Bay. I think Detroit's probably going to win that game.
Agreed.
You know, and that's Detroit at home.
Yeah.
Dallas, Washington. I
Dallas.
think Dallas has just been rolling, man. I mean, they've been playing pretty good football too. I hate saying that; it makes me want to throw up. But I think Dallas wins that game as well.
I agree.
And San Francisco rolls Seattle.
I agree.
I think I'm taking Seattle in that game. Yep. I've been sticking with Seattle.
I wonder why you're 12 games behind me.
Well, you know what? I mean,
I'm
hey.
not taking that, and I'm 13 games behind you.
So, boom.
Mic drop, motherfucker.
But I mean, they're only a game difference. You know what I mean? So, and it was 2 weeks ago.
It is in Seattle.
Yeah,
but
it's in
still.
Seattle, and it was 2 weeks ago. Seattle was leading the division, and again, this last week, if they don't miss that field goal, San Francisco and them are both sitting at 7-3. Now, I don't know how much that really factors into going into this game, this point spread and everything, but 4.5 point game for San Francisco in Seattle on Thanksgiving.
6.5.
So sorry. From my angle, it looked like a 4. So 6.5 point favorite.
You got your weed goggles on?
Yeah. Not enough weed. Not enough weed goggles. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. I think I'm going to take Seattle though. I got to catch up on a game here.
Well, it's either going to help or hurt.
Yeah, might just drop me down into a tie for third.
Yeah.
The Jets in Miami on Friday. I think Miami all the way.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see anything.
Even though they slowed down a bit this week.
Yeah.
Now this next game is a very, very, very
Intriguing.
Yeah, getting
very interesting.
into the Sunday schedule, right? You started off with Houston and Jacksonville.
That's a tough one.
In Houston, there's only a 1 game difference there between their records. Jacksonville is at 1.5 point.
Yeah, 1.5 point favorite.
I might be inclined to take Houston in
I
that
think
one.
I might take Houston on that game also. You know, they've been playing pretty good football as of late. I mean, look what they did this last week, and not just that, but back to Stroud, right? Stroud's playing a hell of a good season so far for him. So, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, unfortunately now that changes everything with the Burrow injury and him going down.
I'm surprised Pittsburgh only a 1 point favorite on that, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I figured with Burrow out, they'd be higher.
You know,
Pittsburgh doesn't score any points, though. That's
in
the
Cincinnati,
problem.
Pittsburgh's offense itself is anemic for the most part, right? They rely on defense. I don't expect that to be a very high-scoring game. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh to win 1-0.
They're just going to get an extra point, huh?
Just one extra point.
If
Just,
only that were possible.
yeah, right.
Well, so interesting story. You can get 1 point.
Blocking an extra point,
yeah.
and returning it.
No.
for the
No,
point.
for the drop.
No, in the CFL,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
you get 1 point for
I think you can get it if you block
punt.
an
If
extra
you
It's
point.
2.
if you
You do get
punt
two?
it,
It's 2 is the same as a safety.
Oh, okay.
If you punt it,
Isn't it like a
Through
drop,
the goal-
like a drop punt or a drop kick, right?
Free kick,
something like that.
It's
a
like
free
a
kick
yeah,
thing.
it's like a drop kick through the goalpost, and you
Something
get 1
like
point.
that.
Yeah, because I did kind of know that rule. I know the NFL doesn't do it, but that's funny.
Yeah, they also have some other weird rules, like you can get a first down if you do an onside punt. So basically, like you can punt the ball as long as it gets past the first down line and you recover it. You get a new set of downs. Like weird rules. Weird rules. They also still like to put their goalposts in the middle at the entrance to the end zone where you can get fucking accidentally drill it.
right, and then they have the field's 10 yards wider and 10 yards longer,
Canadians.
Yeah.
right? And they only get 3 downs. So it's like 1 down, 2 down. Okay, you're kicking.
That's crazy.
It's just a kicking league,
Yeah.
which is I don't like it.
I don't
No,
like
sir.
it.
I
I
know
don't
what
like
you're
it.
doing, and I don't like it.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
So Carolina, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's gonna be another one of those games that will be probably a snooze fest. I
Yeah.
don't, you know,
I'd still
I wouldn't be
take
surprised
Tennessee.
if one team breaks out and shows some offense, but to see both teams do it, I don't really expect it.
I think that team is going to be Tennessee.
Yeah, I got Tennessee. It's at home. You know, they got Derrick Henry, and I would like to see them win more games. New Orleans, Atlanta.
There are a lot of divisional games this week.
Does
A lot
that
of them.
say TBD?
It does. They
Which
have
is
not
interesting.
Put the line on that game.
I know Atlanta just named Desmond Ritter as the starter again, so he's coming back in to start again for them at quarterback. Interesting though that they have no line up there right now. I might be inclined only to take them because it's at home, but I might be inclined to take Atlanta. You don't know what New
I'm
Orleans team's going
inclined
to
to
show
take
up.
New Orleans.
You just don't know what New Orleans team is going to show up, but you don't know what Atlanta team is going
Yeah.
to be there either.
I
So,
don't. It's the same thing. I might be inclined to take Carolina over Tennessee.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be necessarily a big time upset, I don't think, if that happened either. But I don't know. Some battle of the mids to no good teams there.
So
Yeah, there's a third one involved in that battle. It's the very next game on the list,
Yeah.
too. I think that one's going to be a snooze fest,
Yeah.
a bit of a snooze fest as well. Tampa, Indianapolis.
Yeah.
oh,
you know.
that one's not a division game.
Not a division game.
Non-division.
There's a couple that aren't, like Tennessee, Carolina's not. New England and the Giants. But, yeah, Tampa and Indy, yeah.
Indianapolis at home, 2.5-point favorite. You know, I'd love to always say Baker's back. You know, it'd be nice. At least they don't have to worry about bad weather. They got the indoor stadium, so
I might be inclined to take Tampa there.
yeah, I think that's kind of the direction I'm leaning towards right now is Tampa. The next game, New England versus New York. 2-8 versus 3-8. New England's actually a 3-point favorite, and it's in New York. I don't know, not a surprise, but
That's a tough game.
yeah, I'm going to take New York in this one. It's at home. Mac Jones isn't shit. New England right now, they've been struggling. I wonder what the over-under on sacks is for that game. I'd like to see that.
No shit. Talk about one of those custom line bets.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Let me get that prop bet.
Yeah.
Over-under on sacks. I'll take the over.
Yeah, no shit.
I might take New England on that one. I haven't decided. I haven't made my picks yet.
Yeah, neither have I. I usually reserve those for Thursdays. Which, with early games on Thursdays, I got to do it early.
Yeah, you
this
need
week.
to
I
do it
do
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think we'll have college football Thursday games, too, that will be
I think we do.
impacting.
Yep.
Cleveland and Denver. That's with the way Denver's been playing the last few weeks. That's starting to look interesting again.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
going against Cleveland's
No,
defense.
no Deshaun Watson though, so the offense, But to be fair, Denver does not have a defense. Their defense is mediocre at best right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That could be a back and forth game. I still probably going to take Cleveland though. And
That one's going to be a tough one.
that's a hard call. The Rams at Arizona.
I'm surprised that's only a half-point game. I mean, not, but I am.
I'm going to take Arizona in this game.
Yeah, me too.
At home.
At home, neither team is really that good. You would expect the Rams like you were saying, with McVay, with Stafford being there, and they've done it before, and they still have
they've
offensive
got all the tools.
weapons. They've
Yeah.
got they've got players, but for whatever reason, it's not worked out. And I think if Kyler has a bounce back game, and if Arizona does what they've been doing the last couple of games, I think they have a good chance to win that game.
It'll be interesting if Kyrie Williams comes back for the Rams.
Yeah, that's true too.
He's available
Yeah.
to come off the IR this week.
Yeah, he can
And
definitely
so
be. one of
McVay's
those-
saying he should be available, and if he's fresh,
he can
we
be an
are
X
in
factor
trouble.
for sure.
We
He's
are
an
in
X factor
trouble.
type of guy. He can change the game real quick, and that could help them a lot and hurt Arizona in the process.
yeah.
Buffalo, Philadelphia. That is another big game. Philadelphia 2 weeks in a row. You play another team that coming into this season people thought would be a Super Bowl contender. Buffalo's struggling a little bit, 6-5 on the season.
Yeah, I mean, Philly's got a chance to put Buffalo's season to bed, basically.
Yeah, if they finish this, I mean that could be all she wrote for Buffalo this year.
I
Who
think
knows?
Philly's in the Super Bowl again this year.
From the way they've been playing and stuff,
Yeah.
they definitely have proven that they're the best team in the NFC.
I think they roll again this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
probably.
agree. I think Buffalo loses that game on the road.
Then you got Kansas City at Vegas, and I think that's Kansas City's, ready to punch somebody in the mouth after
Yeah.
what just happened with Philadelphia. So
They played toe to toe with them, right? They lost a home game. Taylor wasn't there though, so I think that's
is that-
probably why.
that's the
probably why.
determining factor.
And how
now.
crazy is that too? She didn't get to see the Kelsey brothers play each other.
Interesting.
She's probably
Anyways.
too hurt writing a song about it.
Yeah, well, you heard her fan in Brazil died, and that was why. Like she had a concert down in Brazil, and before the concert happened, a fan died, so she ended up not going to the football game on that Sunday.
She didn't want to see a Kelsey on Kelsey crime.
Yeah, she didn't want
But she didn't realize they
they're
both
never
play
on the
off
field
they
at the
both-
same time.
Yeah.
Right, they play offense, so they don't play each
But
other.
she doesn't want to have to root for her Philadelphia Eagles while she's rooting for her fuck toy, Kelsey.
She an Eagles fan?
Yeah, that's word on the streets. She's been an Eagles fan because she's from Philadelphia.
I thought she was from
I thought she
Nashville.
was from like.
No, I think she's originally from Philadelphia
Interesting.
by way of Nashville.
Time to go to the old interweb
I don't
and
know. Yeah, I
figure
don't know.
that
All
out.
right, but let's wrap up NFL. Baltimore and the Chargers.
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
And then Chicago and Minnesota for your Monday night game.
That's going to be a shit Monday night game,
Yeah,
man.
I might take Chicago.
Alopecia Antelope versus
Minnesota
the Bears.
may win that game.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one for me to call because I want to pick the Bears, but Minnesota, who knows? I mean, Alopecia Antelope looked good twice out of three games so far for him. So
Yep. All right. Well, you want to do a quick break?
No, I got something to. We
Hang
were
on.
talking about CFL.
Okay.
So, how do you score 1 point in the CFL? And I forgot this. I should know this, but I didn't watch CFL. It was-
go to our
it was-
resident Canadian for
'Cause it was
Canadian
right.
football.
A 1 point score.
He's talking about Canadians and
is-
he's Canadian.
Yeah. A 1 point score is awarded when the ball is kicked into the end zone and not returned out of it. So if you kick it through the end zone, you don't, and it lands and you tackle the guy in the end zone, it's a 1 point.
So
That's where the 1 point
there's no
comes in.
touchbacks. They have to run it out of the end zone
Yeah.
if it's kicked into the end zone.
But if it goes through the end zone, it is a
It's-
touchback.
it's-
If it goes
touchback.
through the end zone, it's 1 point.
you just can't kneel it down.
So, and that's for, I think that's for punts. It's also for field goals, but I'm not sure.
Weird.
Yeah.
And
Very
then,
weird.
so to finish off CFL, it was the longest football title game in existence is the Grey Cup, which happened on Sunday.
Really?
So the Montreal Alouettes beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And this is the fourth year in a row that the Montreal team was in the Grey Cup. Which, it's not hard when it's only a 8 or 9 team league. So
Right.
Right.
that's
So So what was it for the longest? You said it was the longest game ever. How long was it?
No,
How
like
long was it?
it was like the 125th Grey Cup or
I got
something.
you. I got you. Longest running.
Yes.
Okay, I
oh,
thought you
okay.
meant like in that was the longest game recorded.
Right, that's what I did
Yeah.
too. Like,
So 125 years of the Grey Cup, huh?
Something like that.
That's what she said. Hey,
another alarm. What is this?
They
one
won
for?
28 to 24.
that one is for a commercial break.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back.
The Dick Show.